Good afternoon. It's good to see you, Mr. Skir.
Thank you.
So I actually have two questions.
And I will answer both of them.
Thank you. First one is, so forgive me if this has already been asked, but I want to know the ideas behind Megatron turning Beast Wars characters into the generals, and were there other characters that you wanted to bring back as a general?
The idea of bringing the original characters back as the generals was something that we got from Marv Wolfman. And I thought that was just utterly brilliant. I thought that was absolutely brilliant. Because you had these characters that, in some cases were allies that you loved, and they were now these, brutal enemies. And that was just utterly spectacular. When we were going to have Strika and Obsidian, there was some thought given to bringing back other characters, known characters. But I think, like, my personal perspective, and I'm sure it was sort of like everybody agreed on this kind of thing, it's like if there are countless sparks out there, if there's millions and trillions or whatever of sparks, then why do we keep running into the same 4 or 5? So the idea of bringing in new characters, it's like, well, okay, let's not make it the same 5 or 6 characters we've already met. Yeah. The idea that Megatron deliberately picked characters that he had just fought alongside with in Beast Wars or against in Beast Wars was really wonderful, because it was a way to sort of correct and corrupt and change these characters, and so it gave us something wonderful to play with. But the idea of bringing in the new characters, it's like, okay, let's make them new characters.
Right. And my second question is, I want to know if you can tell us your feelings on fans now changing perspectives and gaining an appreciation of Beast Machines nowadays, or like just your general thoughts on how the brand has been changed over the years.
Well, which brand are you talking about?
Oh, just like Transformers in general, like how the brand and how storytelling of these characters have changed throughout these years.
Well, I think it's wonderful. As I said, I think that it's wonderful when you can take an IP that is so beloved and remain faithful to the core concept, while also introducing new ideas and taking things in different directions. So whereas in Beast Machines we went as far afield as possible, it's nice to see them going back to the original IP, and it's nice to see them playing with the ideas and introducing new characters. So, yeah, the first question I'm not sure if I completely answered. What was?
Oh yeah, like I'll actually, just for fun, like if you were to bring another Beast Wars character back as a general, like who would you pick?
I think we got the ones that we wanted. I mean, it would have been fun to play with Dinobot because he's such a great character. Mm-hmm. But then again, you don't want to bring him back. But to play with Blackarachnia the way that we did, I absolutely love what we did with Silverbolt, particularly because the way he was portrayed in Beast Wars, he was like the ultimate white knight. He was. Did y'all see Adam West as Batman? Yeah. Where he's like really earnest and upright and forthright. Hello, citizens. I mean, he's just this sort of like jolly, straightforward kind of like guy. And then, okay, we're all familiar with Frank Miller's The Dark Knight. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, that's kind of what I wanted to do. It's like, let's take Adam West and make him into Frank Miller. Yeah. So we have this character who is so stalwart, so straight, and so earnest. And then you bring him back and he's just seen the darkest side of his soul, and he winds up being completely bitter, and he just feels completely alienated, not only from the people that he had been allies with, that he had turned against, but completely alienated from himself as well. Like, he doesn't think anyone should forgive him. He cannot forgive himself. And so we gave him a character arc throughout season 2 that I thought was just one of my favorite things in the series, because I love taking a character and having them look into the darkest parts of themselves. And when you have a character who is so straight and so absolutely virtuous, it's wonderful having them look into the deep, dark mirror. So, yeah, so.
Yeah. I think like it's very tempting to take those kind of characters and just completely break them. It's just it's like very interesting and like very fun to do that, in my opinion.
And I loved the arc that I gave him with Blackarachnia, because she worked so hard to get him back. And when he came back, they didn't embrace, you know? He did everything he could not to. And so she had to sort of win him back by getting him to win himself back. She had to rehabilitate his soul, basically. And that was a wonderful thing to play with, too. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy your weekend.
Thank you. You too.